All right, this is gonna be deboning chicken thighs. Skin on chicken thighs to get a nice boneless piece, and also what I call a chicken rib, maybe with some extra skin on it. All right, first thing to do, and this one of course doesn't have it, is to check if there's any extra skin flaps hanging over on the chicken thigh that you can cut off for later. Some of these other pieces might have them, something like that, but actually this one doesn't even have much either, so forget that. All right, so basically, turn it over. You got your bone in here. I don't know my difference from my left from my right, but you got chicken thigh, you got your bone in here, you got the two ends of the bone. But basically, the things that you want to do is to loosen out the two ends of the bone. Sometimes you get this piece of meat, sometimes it stays with the bone, and sometimes it stays with the rest of the meat. But I kind of run a knife kind of around the inside there to kind of just, and you can keep some of the meat on there, that's fine. This other end, so there's one end with a knuckle, that's typically easier to do. This other end here, it's got a lot of gristle on it, so you might have to cut. Sometimes I cut just down the bone with the meat, and then kind of find a place to kind of cut around. Try to keep the gristle on the bone side. And cut around. And sometimes I cut through the gristle to kind of free that end. Okay, once you free that end there, then basically when you cut through the skin in the middle, or the meat in the middle, you can kind of just cut your way through, and you end up with something like this. This one's got a little more meat on it than I usually have, but I'll try it with the next one. You got these two extra bits of meat. If you want, you can keep them on, or you can take them off. And what you have here is what I call a chicken rib. It's kind of like a pork rib, but made from a chicken thigh bone, right? And then you've got your boneless piece of meat here, right? It's got two main lobes on it with skin over here, and then kind of two main lobes of meat. I usually keep these together, and I'll show you those on the pan later. At this point, if you want, you can chop off, little bits of fat that might be more than you like look at that. Ugh. Okay, I don't need that. It's not attached to any skin, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that off. There's plenty of fat already on here. If you have an extra flap of skin that you cut off here, when you put this in a sheet pan, you can lay that skin over the top of here and help that crisp up. Okay, so after I bone these, I'm just gonna put them with the vegetables here, and they'll all get seasoned together because they're all gonna cook together. And same with any little leftover bits of meat. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and do the other thighs. Okay, this one again, some extra fat. Extra fat. Not a lot of extra skin, right? If this was bigger, this could go over. Actually, I'll take that off just so it's not hanging over anything meaty. But that will go onto a chicken rib later. All right, so again, this is the side that's got some more gristle on it, so I'll try cut that away underneath, close to the bone. Kind of run the knife around the bone a little bit. Same on this side here. I'm getting my fingers under it to try to clear out where the head of the bone is, right? Then once you do that, then you can kind of pull the meat apart and use your knife to cut along the bone to separate the bone from the meat. And as you go around, you eventually get that bone to come out. You see this one, oh yeah, here, well, there's a little piece of meat that got stuck with this, but right, here's your chicken rib, and here's your boneless thigh. What I'll do later when I put these in the, put these in the sheet pan, let me get this fat off. Yeah, it's not too much. When I put these in the pan, I'll actually kind of tent it up as if there were bones still in it, which is kind of cool. But for now, these go in the bowl as well. Okay. Chicken fat, this all goes away. Extra chicken fat. Don't need that much chicken fat. Oven's ready. Okay. Chicken fat, chicken fat. Okay, got the thigh here. Oops. Two sides of the bone, or two heads of the bone. Gonna, again, I bend the thigh meat kind of back so I can get to the head of the bone and use the tip of the knife to cut around it, to kind of free it out. I think that meat is gonna stay with this side. Okay. Then on this side too, I can see this one's the bone's a little bit deeper in there, so I'm not sure how this is gonna work out, but let's see. Well, okay. This one, I can't even see the head of the bone, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start slicing down and pulling the meat away from the bone there to try to get to where the head of the bone is. And this one I might end up having more meat on the bone because I can't see where it's ending. Okay, so sometimes you get that where like you started on the one side of the bone, one side of the chicken bone, and you end up with this thing kind of sticking out. And you basically try to cut close to the bone and get as much of that as you can out. When you get it close to the end here, right, you can twist it this way and that. I'm using the sharp end of the knife there to kind of like cut it away. There we go. Chicken rib, boneless thigh, two big pieces of meat. If you want, you could even cut that in half there and you've got little two half bits, but I like keeping them whole. All right. Chicken rib. Last one, let's see how this one looks. A little bit of extra goop there. Extra fat, don't need that. And then, all right, got the bone here. You see this seam of fat? Sometimes if I find that, I cut down that, get to the bone, cut around. Oh, see, I missed the gristle on this end, so it's not going to be as clean. I'm going to try cutting around that. Use the sharp end, cut around the gristle. It's probably the knee joint or something, right? And then same on this other end. Cut around to separate the bone from the meat. Oh, see this one? That meat wants to come off with the bone, so I'm gonna try to save it there. All right, now it's staying with the meat. Chicken rib, boneless thigh, with a little bit of stuff trimmed off. Really extra fat. There's so much fat already. Oh, a little bit too much there. Okay, there you go. So I got 1, 2, and then 2 more in here. Boneless chicken thighs. can lay these out flat. You plump them up a little bit like the bone was still in there. All right, okay. So I got 4 here, so I'm gonna space them out a little bit. Plump them up in there like the bone was still in there. But you don't want to get them too close because you want to let them cook. Give them room to cook. Okay, this one here. No, a bit like as if the bone were kind of in there. This last one here, look at that, oh, extra carrot. It's plain baking sheet, nothing in it, because there's enough oil on everything where it will self non-stick. Oh, I'm missing a bone, it must be in here somewhere. All right, basically I'm gonna pour the rest of the veggies out. Spread them around. Oh, there's that bone. Okay. If you want, you can even go ahead and lift these back up and make sure there's no veggies on top. You can even set these kind of down onto the veggies. There we go. And if you had extra chicken skin, this would be where you would put that extra chicken skin on top of these chicken ribs here. Because then you would get a nice just skin and bone going on. All right, sheet pan dinner, ready for the oven. All right, 20 minutes in the oven at 425. Let's see if I can do this without ruining my all that chicken fat in there. Nice hot oven. Chicken looks pretty good. Because it's boneless, I think it cooks faster too, so. There you go. In the messy kitchen. There's that sheet pan chicken with chicken ribs. Bon appetit. Carnitas Seasoning. Salt, cumin, chipotle, a little bit of cayenne if you want, and oregano. What is it? One part, half a part. So like if I'm making a big batch, like a 1/4 cup salt, 1/4 cup cumin, 1/4 cup of chili, you can do half and half if you want it spicy. You can do just chipotle if you want it just nice and smoky. And then half of that of dried oregano. As you saw before, that's we took that out of our garden for this one. Works on everything.